last class we have done the half-wave rectifier, and we have seen that with half-wave rectifier without means freewheeling diode and half-wave rectifier with freewheeling diode. Now, if you see here, now what is the advantage of using the freewheeling diode? Like, so it prevents the output voltage becoming zero, right? From becoming means becoming negative. So it prevents the output voltage from becoming negative. That is one advantage of using a freewheeling diode. And other advantage is that energy stored in L, okay, that is transferred to R through means like through FD, the system efficiency will improve. So that is the other advantage. So it will prevent from becoming negative, and other advantage is it will increase the efficiency. And other advantage is that load current waveform becomes more smooth, because if you see in half-wave rectifier, output should be pure DC, but in reality it's not pure DC. So it is a pulsating wave. So if we use our freewheeling diode, then this freewheeling diode output current will become little bit smoother than without using a freewheeling diode. So today we'll try to see this single phase full wave rectifier. In single phase full wave rectifier, okay, there are two types of single phase full wave diode rectifier. So these are the center tape full wave diode rectifier, and other one is a bridge diode bridge, means full wave diode bridge rectifier. So these are the two different type of full wave rectifier. Now, full wave rectifier will convert the AC voltage into a pulsating DC voltage using both the cycle of the applied AC voltage. Now, in previous case, okay, in half wave only it will use the positive half cycle, but in this case it will use both the half cycles of the applied AC voltage. And the difference between these two is that it uses the two diodes. Two diodes are used in this case. So in order to rectify both the half cycles, the two diodes are used in this. And in this case, the two diodes fit a common load. So it means that the load is commonly fed in this one with the help of a center tape transformer. In first case, that is a center tape full wave diode rectifier. So two diodes it feeds to the common load. And center tape transformer is one of which will produce the two sinusoidal wave of same magnitude and frequency. So it will produce the same means like two sinusoidal waveform of same magnitude and frequency, but out of phase with respect to the ground. So it uses means like transformers. So its magnitude and the frequency are same, but it's out of phase with respect to the ground. So in this case, if you see here, we have to take the turn ratio of this transformer as unity, just for simplicity. Okay, just to explain this one, if we just take the turn ratio of this center tape transformer as turn ratio is equals to 1, then if you see this positive, if we keep this a positive, A is a positive, let's say positive, this is equals to A, and the down this point as B, then if A is positive with respect to B or with the center O, then D1 will become a forward bias and D2 will be in reverse bias. Similarly, if in next half cycle B, this point is positive with respect to this point. So if we indicate this is A and down one is B, then B is positive, then with respect to A, then D2 will be forward bias. And if you see here, B will be now in positive half cycle. So both the half cycles, now this is the output voltage. So both the diode D1 and D2 is conducting in first positive half cycle. This D1 will conduct when A is positive with respect to B, and second half cycle B is positive with respect to A. So in both the half cycle it conducts. And this will also experience a peak inverse voltage of D1 will experience a reverse voltage of 2 Vs. So that means like if you see here, it will experience a negative voltage of 2 Vs, twice that of a source voltage Vs. So 2 times of that of a, so this in third waveform, so it experiences 2 times that of a Vs. Similarly, even in other half cycle, it will again experience 2 times that of means Vm, maximum voltage. So if you want to know, if you want to find out the means output DC voltage, then if you integrate between 0 to pi, it will means this is a source voltage, means a source waveform. Vs equals to, so it's starting from 0 to pi. So if you integrate from 0 to pi Vm sine omega t, then you will get 2 Vm by pi. Now, if you compare with a half-wave rectifier, half-wave diode rectifier, so output DC voltage is only Vm by pi. But in this full wave, it is 2 times Vm by pi. So that's the difference between, means it conducts in both the half cycles. And DC current, if you see, the DC current is 2 Vm pi into R. So current waveform is that similar to that of voltage waveform. So RMS, if you want to find out the RMS voltage of this, you will find, so once you integrate root of integration of Vm sine omega t whole square d omega t, then you will get Vm by root 2. Because if you can do, these are the simple like means mathematical, means mathematics, you can calculate this one. So if you have any problem, so we can discuss individually. If you have, some of you have problem finding out this, solving the integration. So I hope that you are doing much more like advanced problem than this in the mathematics. So I hope this will be quite easy because you have already done this type of problem. So to find out the VORMS, you will find Vm by root 2. So even we can find out the RMS current, that Vm by root 2 into R. So peak inverse voltage, if you see in this case, full wave bridge center tap transformer type, you will find peak inverse voltage is 2 times that of a Vm, maximum voltage, 2 times that of a maximum voltage. Now in single, because I'm not going on detail, because these things you have already studied in analog electronics, and it's almost same. The similar is exactly, the derivations and explanations are same. The difference is that in this case we are using a power diode only. All this like explanations are same. So rectifier, this is an example questions. The rectifier is shown in the figure has purely resistive load. So where both the diodes are feeding to the same load, so it's a purely resistive load. The 10 ohm resistive load is there of. So you have to determine the efficiency, form factor, ripple factors, stress factor, TEF transformer utilization factor, and peak inverse voltage of this from this diagram. Now in this case, please note that the transformer ratio is 2:1. So this is an example, okay. So in this one, if you want to find out a VU DC output voltage, then you'll find out that if you just have to use the formula, you'll find 70.06. And DC current and VRMS, okay, you just have to remember, if you know the formula, you can directly calculate from this, means previous whatever formulas we have found out from this. So even we can find out the efficiency of this full wave center tap transformer type is center tap full wave means diode rectifier efficiency is 81.05. So if you remember this, in half wave rectifier the efficiency was quite low. Even the form factor in this one is 1.11 and RF is equals to 0.483. So all these parameters are the performance characteristic of that particular of this rectifier. The performance characteristic of what is the performance of this rectifier. So the average TUF in center tap full wave rectifier circuit is determined by considering we have to consider the primary and secondary winding separately to find out the transformer utilization factor in the center tape full wave rectifier. So there are two secondary winding here. So in this one, each secondary winding is associated with one diode, because in center tape full wave rectifier, we are using a two diode. So each secondary winding is associated with one diode. So it's just similar to the secondary of the half wave rectifier. So similar to that of a half wave rectifier, so each secondary has a TUF of 0.287. So if you want to find out the average of this TUF, then we can have TUF of two secondary winding and one primary winding. So you have three transformer utilization factor, two secondary winding and one primary winding. So the average of this, you'll get around 0.46 transformer utilization. Average transformer utilization factor is 0.46. But if you just try to find out the TUF primary winding, then you can find out means it's 0.81. So these are the examples, okay. So you can find out the full wave rectifier circuit is fed from a transformer having a center tape secondary winding, and the RMS voltage from end of the secondary to center tape is 30 volt if the diode forward resistance is 5 ohm, and that of the secondary is 10 ohm for the load of 900 ohm. Calculate the power delivered to the load. I think I've already uploaded some of the, if you do not have a textbook, I've uploaded a soft copy in VLE. Even PS Bimra, I think it's the old edition, but most of the things are already there in that textbook. So please refer these textbooks and try to solve this problem. Because if we start, these problems are quite simple, because we have already done this type of problems in analog electronics. If you are not confident, please refer the textbook. It's clearly given in the textbook. So if you have any problem on solving this problem, so we can discuss in next class. But if few of you are in individual level, if you are having a problem, then we can directly discuss one another. Means like we can discuss with individual person. But if more than one of you are having the problem with solving this problem, so we can discuss in common forum also. So you just have to find out the power delivered to the load, ripple factor efficiency at the full load, then you have to find out the TUF. Similar to this, there is a full wave rectifier circuit using a two silicon diode. So in this case also it's a bridge type. So you have to use they use this a two silicon diode. Forward resistance is 20 ohm. It's a pure load is purely resistive, and the voltmeter is connected to the load of 1 kilo ohms, reached 55.4 volt. So you have to calculate the RMS value of the load current, average voltage across each diode, and ripple factor on transformer secondary voltage rating. So you have to solve these problems 3, 4, and 5. So exercise 3 exercise, please solve this problem. So if you have any problem, then we'll discuss later on. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
So please try to solve this problem. Okay, I feel that okay, even those of you, okay, those who are in service candidate, okay, I know you may not have studied in first semester, okay, but I know you might have solved this type of problem even in diploma. These problems are quite similar to whatever you have done, okay, in analog electronics also. So I feel that you will not have a problem solving this type of problem. So please refer the textbook. If you do not have a hard copy of the textbook, soft copy is already there in the VLE. So please download that one. And some of these questions are from the textbook only. So please don't copy directly from the textbooks. Okay, try to solve yourself. And if you do not get the answers, or if you want to cross check, the answer, please go through the textbook. Now, next one is with single phase full wave bridge rectifier. In this one, okay, the difference is that in a bridge rectifier means like in other center tape type, so we use only two diode, but in this case single phase full wave bridge rectifier we use 4 diodes, D1, D2, D3, and D4 are used. So in this case, if we consider this point is connected to a transformer and the Vs source voltage. Now, if we consider this point, the point near D1 is A and the other one D2 is near D2 is B. When A is positive with respect to B, and D1 and D2 will conduct. So the voltage, so D1 and D2 will conduct and output voltage will be VAB. So other two diode, D3 and D4 will be reverse biased. When this point is positive with respect to this point, let's take this point as A and this point as B. And if A is positive with respect to B, then D1 and D2 will conduct. But D3 and D4 will be reverse biased. So output voltage will be VAB. So this, if you see here, it will conduct from 0 to pi when D1 and D2 is conducting. Then now when B is positive with respect to A, if B is positive with respect to A, then D3 and D4 will conduct. So D3 and D4 will conduct together. Now diode D1 and D2 will be reverse biased. So in this case, the output voltage it conducts in both the half cycle. But in this case, there are two diodes are conducting together, and D1 and D3 are fed to the, means like their cathode is connected together, D3 and D1 and D3, and D2 and D4's cathodes are, now if you see here, so it means that these cathodes are D1 and D3's cathodes are connected together in this. And the peak inverse voltage, the voltage across the diode, that peak in that is minus Vm only. But if you see in center tape type, means the previous example, in that case, PIB was 2 Vm. It was 2 Vm. So in this case, because I have just like screenshot, I have taken a screenshot of the textbook that you are having this textbook PS Bimra. So from that one, when A is positive with respect to B, the D1 and D2 will conduct together so that the output voltage becomes VAB. Now each of the diode D3 and D4 is subjected to reverse bias of the source voltage. So D3 and D4 will be reverse biased. Now when B is positive, when this point is positive with respect to A, diode D3 and D4 will conduct together and output voltage will be VBA. So this is in a waveform, second waveform output voltage, then this will become VBA. So each of the two diode D1 and D2 will experience a reverse bias. So this diode D1 and D2 will have a reverse bias, and reveals that the diode in a midpoint full rectifier is subjected to peak inverse of 2 Vm. So in case of a midpoint full bridge rectifier, the peak inverse voltage is 2 Vm. Whereas diode in full bridge rectifier has only PIV of Vm only. So peak inverse voltage is only Vm in this case. But in case of a bridge midpoint full wave rectifier, PIV was 2 Vm. Now average and RMS value of the output voltage are same for both the rectifier configuration. So for both the rectifier configuration, average and output voltage are same. Now even if you see that when D1 and D2 conducts, so the voltage across the D3 and D4s are at Vm. This is showing the voltage across D1 and D2. So similarly, okay, the current across the diodes are also shown. So this is a positive half cycle. How does a current flows when D1 and D2 are forward biased? So this is the current, the direction of the current flowing. Means like when D1 and D3 are conducting positive during the positive half cycle, and during the negative half cycle, when D3 and D4 are conducting, it means that in this one, D1 and D2 are reverse bias. So it means these two diodes are not conducting. D1 and D2 are not conducting. In this case, in positive half cycle, D1 and D2 are conducting, D3 and D4 are reverse bias. So what are the means like advantages of bridge rectifier circuit? No center tape transformer is required in this one. So this is the advantage. So we don't require in case of a previous rectifier, full single phase bridge rectifier, center tape transformers are required. But in this case, we don't require a center tape transformer, and TUF is considerably high. Transformer utilization factors is high, and PIB is reduced across the diode. Peak inverse voltage is reduced across the diode. But in case of a center tape transformer type, in that one, PIB is 2 times of that of BM. But in this case, it's reduced to half. But the disadvantage of the bridge rectifier is that it requires 4 diode compared to 2 diode for center tape transformer. So in center tape transformer type, it requires only 2 diode. But in this case, single phase full wave bridge rectifier, it requires only, it requires 4 diodes. So this reduces the output voltage. So output voltage is reduced because of the use of 4 diode. Similarly, there is a problem on this single phase diode bridge rectifier also, as it has a purely resistive load of R equals to 15 ohm, in VS source voltage equals 30 sin omega t, and the unity transformer ratio. The transformer ratio in this case is unity. So you have to find out the efficiency, form factor, ripple factor, and input power factor. So similarly, to find out the output DC voltage, so 2 BM by pi. So you can find out 190.956 volt. So output DC voltage is 12.73 amperes. It means output DC current is 12.73 amperes, and RMS voltage is 212 volt. So if you know the formula, you can just apply. These formulas are almost same, but please remember this. Okay, these formulas look similar type. What I've seen in my past experience is that most of the students are confused with this formula, because all these formulas looks similar type. If half wave, full wave, again we have this is uncontrolled rectifier. Okay, again we'll have a controlled rectifier, controlled half wave rectifier, full wave rectifier, 3-phase rectifier. So all these formulas look similar, but you have to be careful when you use the formula. So which formula is used in which type of rectifier? So means usually students are confused with the formula when they solve the problems. So please be careful. If you want to know this, first you have to be clear. Your concept should be clear that what type of rectifier are you trying to solve? What type of problems are you going to solve? So if you start practicing more than, if you just depend on the problems which we have in the slide, then it might be difficult for you to solve the problem later on, the new problems. But if you practice from the textbooks, there are plenty of problems. Even if you search in the web, you will find n numbers of problems in this rectifier, half wave, full wave. So please try to practice yourself so that it will be easier for you to solve this type of problem. So efficiency is 81.06. Even if you compare the efficiency is much more higher than that of a half wave rectifier. Form factor is 1.11. Ripple factor is 0.482, and PIV is 300 volt. But if it is a center tape type, then PIV might be 600 volt, 2 times that of a BM. So input power factor. So input power factor is 1 in this case, real power by apparent power. So the bridge rectifier uses the 4 identical diode having the forward resistance of 5 ohm and the secondary voltage is 30 volt. So determine the DC output voltage. IDC is 200 milliampere and the value of the ripple effect voltage. So please solve this exercise number 6 and 7. So in this one, bridge rectifier, the transformer connected to 220 volt, and step down transformer is having 11:1. Transformer ratio is 11:1, assuming the diode to be idle. So you have to find out IDC, voltage across the load, in PIV. So again, I'm requesting you, please first try yourself. If you're not able to solve this problem, then please go through the textbook. All these problems are there in the textbook, so please don't directly copy from the textbook and try to see. Sometimes when you directly see the solutions, you find it quite simple. But later on, if you get a new problem, and if you are asked to solve that problem, it becomes really difficult for you to solve this problem. So before directly looking at the textbook, please go through here, means please try to solve yourself. So if you are not able to do, most of these problems are direct application of the formulas. So if you know the formula, you can directly, so you can just see the solution, whether your answer is correct or not. So if you're not able to understand what is there in the textbook, then we can discuss the next time. So this is the comparisons between half wave, full wave. Half wave is also known as a one pulse, and full wave is also known as a two pulse. So in full wave, there is two types. One is center tape, that is M2, which is also known as M2, then bridge, that's the B2. So these are, we'll see the comparisons of these three different types of rectifier. DC output voltage of half wave is Bm by pi only. So, but in case of full wave, is 2 Bm by pi. RMS value is Bm by 2, but in case of full wave, RMS value is Bm by root 2. Ripple voltage is 0.38 Vm, and in case of a full wave, it is 0.3077 Vm. So voltage ripple factor is 1.2, and in case of full wave, it's 0.482. So we are just trying to see the performance parameter of this different type of rectifier. So just to, I know we have done for all these three different types of, but what I would like to suggest one thing to you is that all these are the numerical example, means like these are the performance parameter, means like you are solving, you're trying to find out in terms of a number. But if you really want to know, please go in detail the waveform. How does the waveform look like? Suppose if the input voltage, source voltage is Vs, so it is pure sinusoidal wave. So what is the output waveform? And what is the current voltage across the diode? What is the current across the diode? You have to find out this. Then only you'll understand the voltage across the diode, how the waveform looks like in half wave rectifier and in full wave rectifier. How does the waveform look like in full wave rectifier? And you have to know the efficiency. If you want to know, if you want to see the performance of the rectifier, then the rectification efficiency is, in case of a half wave, it's only 40%. But if you see in a full wave, it's 81%, double that of a half wave rectifier. That's why I told you in the previous class that half wave rectifier are not used. It is, we need to know, understand the working of this half wave rectifier. But in practical sense, these rectifiers are not used. You need to understand, just to understand the operating procedures and how this is, what's the working principle of this. But in practical field, we don't use this half wave rectifier, because what we require is its efficiency is quite low. So we require such type of device which is having higher efficiency. So peak inverse voltage in PIV is Vm in case of half wave, and in case of a full wave is 2 Vm in case of a center tape type, and in case of a bridge rectifier it is Vm only. So please see the peak inverse voltage. Peak inverse voltage is double that of in case of a center tape type, it is 2 times peak inverse voltage. And Crisp factor is 2, and in case of a full wave, it's root 2. Number of diode used in a half wave is 1, and center tape is 2, and in bridge type is 4. So I told you that disadvantage of this type of like full wave, okay, bridge type of rectifier is it's using a 4 diode. That's only that is an output volt, means like might decrease in this case. So ripple frequency is F, and in case of a full wave, it's 2F. So this is the comparison between all these different types of rectifier. Means till now whatever we have studied, half wave, full wave, and full wave. There are 2 types of full wave, center tape and bridge type. Now we'll see the 3-phase supply. 3-phase 4-wire type, means 3 active phase A, B, C, and 1 ground or neutral. So one ground or neutral. So color code is, if you see the color coding, that is phase A, this is represented by the blue. Phase B is represented by, that's purple. K means, I think there is some like mismatch between the color. Phase B is purple and phase C is gray. So it's not red, but it's a purple type shown in the wave. And neutral or white or is the gray. So these are the three phase voltage with respect to ground. VA equals to Bm sine omega t. VV is equals to Bm sine omega t minus 2 pi by 3, and VC is Bm by. So I think this you have already done in other modules also. So single phase rectifiers are suitable only up to the power load of about. Why do you require a three phase? Means that three phase rectifier. Why do you require a three phase rectifier? Because single phase rectifiers are only suitable for about 15 kilowatt. So for higher power demand, three phase rectifiers is preferred. So for that means that for the single phase rectifier are suitable only up to 15 kilowatt. For higher power demand, three phase rectifier are preferred due to the following reason. So this is the reason why we require a three phase rectifier. It's having a higher DC voltage, better TUF, transformer utilization factor. It has a better input power factor. So we need to consider the power factor also, because input power factor is better. So input is AC, right? Output will be DC. So we are converting from AC to DC rectification, but input power factor should be, it has a better input power factor, and it has a less ripple content in the output current. So output current, ripple content in output current should be ripple free. So if you see, in ideal cases, the input is a sinusoidal wave. Output should be a pure DC, means like it should be a straight line. But in most of the case, we see this as a ripple output. It means that there is a AC component present on this. It means like, so you need to remove this. So, but if you use a three-phase rectifier, these are some of the reasons that these are the for higher power demand. Means this three-phase rectifier is due to following reason: higher DC, better TUF, and all this. Now this is a three-phase half-wave rectifier. So all these cathodes are connected together in three-phase half-wave rectifier. All these three dyes cathodes are connected together to a load. VA, VV, and VC. All these are connected together to the load. Now, also this is also together with the load. This is also known as a common cathode circuit, because that's why means each of these, their cathodes are connected together with a common load. So it's also known as a common cathode circuit for three-phase half-wave rectifier. So this is a three-phase half-wave rectifier. And the rectifier elements connected to the line at higher positive instantaneous voltage can only conduct. So if the rectifier element connected to the line at higher positive instantaneous voltage, this will start conducting. Higher means instantaneous voltage. We are giving a three-phase, means we are talking about the three-phase half-wave rectifier. D1 will conduct between 32, when conducts for omega t equals 32, omega t equals to 150 degree, as the diode sense the most positive voltage, VA. So it will sense the most positive voltage between 30 to 150 degree, diode D1, as compared to the other diode during this interval. So D1 will conduct between 30 to 150 degree. So if you see this, D1 will conduct from 30 to 150 degree. So D1 is conducting at this point. If you see, this is the means the dark line shown in this one is the output in this case. So D1 is conducting on this point. So diode D2 will conduct from omega t equals to 152 to 70. So it will conduct from 152 to 70 in this. And D3 will conduct from omega t equals to 272 to 390. When the diode is common cathode terminal P rises. So when the diode is conducting, so the common cathode terminal P rises to the highest positive voltage at that phase. So other two are blocking diode are reverse bias. So other diodes, when one diode conducting, others are in blocking mode, means it are in reverse bias. So when D1 is conducting between D means 30 to 150 degree, then D2 and D3 are in reverse biased. So to find out the performance parameter of this three-phase half-wave rectifier, so average output voltage for one pulse, that's 120 degree, is given by this. So you will find output DC voltage equals to 0.27 of Vm. 0.27 of Vm. So IDC is equals to 0.27 into Vm divided by R if it is a pure resistive load. Similarly, RMS value of load voltage for one pulse is given as 0.847 into Vm. I know, okay, when you look at the formulas, okay, you might be like, you might get puzzled when you see so many formulas, okay. Till now, let's say, okay, we have done half wave, full wave. There are two types of full wave, that is bridge type, center tape type, and half wave rectifier with R load, RL load. Okay, so there are so many formulas. So please don't get mixed up with, you just write separately this formula and try to analyze this formula so that you don't get puzzled when you do the numerical, especially when you do the numerical. If you understand the waveform, and you can easily try to differentiate between formulas between the different type of rectifier. I know these rectifiers are, when you see the performance parameter of this rectifier, some of these performance parameters are same. So if you can analyze which performance parameters are same, then it will be easier for you to remember the formulas. I know if you just try to remember for all this, okay, it becomes really difficult. So we can find out the RMS also. RMS voltage of three-phase half-wave rectifier, and peak inverse voltage is √3 into Vm. So the peak inverse voltage of the three-phase half-wave rectifier is √3 into Vm. Just imagine that what is the peak inverse voltage of full wave and half-wave rectifier. In full wave, there are two types, bridge and center tape. So what is the peak inverse voltage, and what is the effect if the peak inverse voltage increases? Similarly, in this also, you have to solve this problem. Rectifier is shown where the primary side is delta connected and secondary side is star connected. You have RYB phase. So you have a neutral connected here, and it's connected to the load R, load voltage. So you have to following operated from 460 volt 50 hertz RMS supply at secondary side, and the load resistance R is 20 ohm. R is 20 ohm. And if the source inductance is negligible, you have to find out the rectification efficiency, form factor. Similarly, same type of parameters like what is the efficiency, form factor, ripple factor, crisp factor, peak inverse voltage of each diode. So you have to find out the peak inverse voltage of each diode. You are using a three-phase half-wave rectifier. So phase to neutral voltage is given by 460. So you have to solve this. So Vm, you can find out the maximum voltage. So average value of this VDC is, you can find out with using this formula. IDC also, RMS value, RMS current and RMS voltage, and rectification efficiency. So in this case, efficiency is 96.7%. So efficiency is increasing comparing with the single phase full wave rectifier. It's around 80 something. So 80. So in this case, the efficiency is 96.7%. We are just seeing the number. When we try to analyze with the number, okay, sometimes these numbers can be, we can find out the comparative study. But of course, these are some of the performance parameters. But if you really want to know depth of all these circuits, okay, it's better to analyze this circuit with the help of the waveform. So later on, you might be asked to draw a waveform of input voltage, output voltage, output DC voltage, output DC current, or the voltage across the diode. So all these parameters means these waveforms are quite important. Even the form factors, ripple factors, crisp factors, PIV, peak inverse voltage. So I did not like give it, means I did not write the numerical on this half-wave, three-phase half-wave rectifier, but I know there are few numericals even in these textbooks, okay, in PS Bimra or other textbooks like what are the textbooks? There are some textbooks. Okay, there are so many textbooks on this. Means power electronics by, I forget the name of this textbook. Power electronics by. There are so many other textbooks, okay, related to this. It means power electronics. So please go through these textbooks. I know some of these textbooks are. If I get the soft copy, plus this, if I get the soft copy from the web, I'll try to upload this textbook. I've already uploaded one, but please don't share this textbook. It's illegal to share with other people. I'm just sharing for you to refer, because you do not have a. I know some of you don't have hard copy, means like hard copy of the textbooks. So for your reference, you just refer yourself, and please don't means this refer means like share in the public, because we don't have a legal authority to share the soft copy of somebody else's work. So we have to be mindful when we share something in an open forum. So I'm just sharing in BLE so that you will use specifically use for this module only, not to share with other people. It must be available in the web, okay, but all these are illegal actually. We are not supposed to share the soft copy of any textbook. If you want to use for personal use also, we have to buy this textbook, but we don't have a system like okay. So please try to copy means like use these things. So next one is three-phase bridge rectifier. It's similar to in this one, three-phase bridge rectifier is very common in high power applications. We don't use half-wave bridge rectifier, three-phase half-wave bridge rectifier, similar to what we have in single phase. Even in three-phase is very common in high power applications, because they have highest possible transformer utilization factor in three-phase system. So three-phase bridge rectifier has a highest possible transformer utilization factors. So you just imagine that what is the function of what is the use if you have a higher transformer utilization factor. So in this case, its performance will be much more better than that of other rectifier. So it can operate with or without transformer and give 6 pulse ripple on the output. So it can operate with or without a transformer, and output it gives 6 pulse. It's not also known as a 6 pulse bridge rectifier. And diode D1, in this one, D1, D3, and D5 will conduct when the supply voltage is most positive. So these three diode D1, D3, and D5 will conduct when supply voltage is most positive. In this case also, D1, D3, and D5 are connected together. It means the cathodes are connected together in this case. So D2, D4, and D6 will conduct when the supply voltage is most negative. So when the supply voltage is most negative, D2, D4, and D6 will conduct. Now, if you see here, this is VA, VB, and VC. So in this waveform, okay, this is VA, VB, and VC. So at the instance 1, diode D4 is already on the conduction. So at the instant 1, this is, let's take this as a means like. So at this instant 1, the D4 is already conducting. D4 is already in the conduction mode, and D5 stops at that and on, and the conduction of the diode D5 will start at instant 1. This D5 will stop conducting, and D4 is already on conduction mode, and that D1 will start conducting. So there it should be in sequence. So it's one cycle. If you see here, starting with that instant 1 to 12, it's the one cycle, one instant in three-phase rectifier. In three-phase rectifier, in three-phase bridge rectifier, that instant at this instant, this is one cycle. So D4 is already on, and the conduction of the diode D5 will stop. This shows the sequence of the diode conduction of the diode. So, and D1 will start conducting at this instant 1. The magnitude of the load voltage V1 instant at 1 is given. So if you want to find out the magnitude of the voltage at this instant 1, so B1 will be Bm sin omega t key. When Bm sin omega t and Bm sin means sin 30 and Bm sin 90, so B1 will be 1.5 of Bm. So if you see at instant 2, at this instant 2, the magnitude of the load voltage V2 is given by, so magnitude of load voltage will be given by Vm sin 60 and Vm sin 120. So the voltage, the magnitude of the load voltage will be √3 of Vm at this instant. Similarly, okay, this is the voltage, okay, the output voltage of this VCB, VCA, VAB, VAC. So this is the instant. So this point is 30 degree. So one cycle is 360 degrees. So in one cycle, VA, VB, BC. So these are the instances where this diode will conduct. Means that it should be in sequence. So diodes has to be conducted when D5 at instant 1, when D5 stop conducting, D4 is already in the conduction mode, and D1 will start conducting. At instant 2, D1 is already in the conduction mode. D1 and D4 is already in the conduction mode. So we can then in instant 3, D4 will stop conducting, and D1 is already in conduction mode, and D6 will start conducting. So this is the sequence. In previously, okay, what we have seen is V1 is equals to 1.5. So V1 is equals to 1.5 of Vm at instant 1. And instant 2, Vm means like voltage across the load will be V2 at instant 2, the voltage across the load, magnitude of the load voltage will V2 will be √3 of, if you see here, √3 of Vm. So to find out the performance parameter of average output voltage for one pulse is given by VDC equals to 1. So if you solve this one, integration of pi by 3, what's the 180 divided by 3? 3 6 are 80.
60.
So you means the pi by 3 means integration between pi by 3 to 2 pi by 3 √3 by Vm sin omega t. So you'll find out 1.65 into Vm output DC voltage. So similarly, IDC is equals to 1.6 into Vm by R. So RMS voltage also you can find out VRMS equals to 1. So please solve this one, okay, whether you'll get 1.6 or not. If you know how to do the integration, this it's just an integration, okay. If you know how the integration, you can directly find out this. So VRMS equals to 1.65 Vm and IRMS equals to 1.6 Vm by R if it's a pure resistive load. And PIB is √3 into Vm. So similarly, you have to solve for three-phase bridge rectifier, which operate as 460 volt, 50 hertz supply. So this one I've already done these problems. So VDC is equals to, please try to cross check whether these answers are right or not, so that there might be some mistakes. Okay, when you do this calculation, please cross check these answers so whether these answers are correct or not. Before looking at the answer, okay, without looking at the answer, please solve this problem. If you get the answer, once you finish solving these questions, okay, then you can solve the problem. It means you can cross check your answer with the answers in the PPT. So this is the comparison of the diode rectifier: single phase half wave rectifier, single phase full wave, single phase full wave bridge, center tip type bridge, three phase star rectifier, three phase bridge rectifier. So this is just to show you the efficiency. Okay, if you see the three-phase bridge rectifier, the efficiency is 99.83%. If you compare with the half-wave rectifier, it's only 40. The three-phase bridge rectifier efficiency is 99.83. Form factor is 1 in this case. Transformer utilization factor is 95.42, and PIB is decreasing. You see, √3 of Vm. The Chris factor. So these are the comparison. You can just go through this. Wait, okay. Just wait, okay. I just want to. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. Okay, so we have finished this uncontrolled rectifier with this. Okay, please try to solve all this problem. Okay, uncontrolled rectifier we have finished now. So we'll go in next class. We'll try to do control rectifier, means using SCR, silicon control rectifier. Till now we are talking about the uncontrolled rectifier using a diode. So you know that off and on of this switches will depend on the type of circuit used. So whether the circuit is like, how do you switch on? So we do not have a control over about the input and output. Whatever is the input, the output will be fixed. So with this, okay, I think we'll stop here. So if you please try to solve those problems which are already there in the PPT. So I've already uploaded in VLE. So please download from the VLE. Okay, Sonam Chota, please, I've already uploaded this means in VLE, but there are some changes because I have already uploaded last time itself. Okay, but I'll try to means I have done some like modification on the PPT, so I'll upload the new PPT, means like the updated one. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, please go through the PPT. If you have any problem, please contact me. If it is an individual level, we can talk individually and try to find out the solutions. So if there are problems, everyone is having the same type of problem, then we can even talk in a Zoom itself so that we can find out the solution for this. Is it okay? So I'll stop here. So have a good day ahead. Bye.